Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are finally demystifying all that AI FOMO you've been feeling. Let's kick things off by transporting ourselves to the massive WAIC 2026 event over in Shanghai. Just picture it for a second, the absolute ultimate stage of the AI revolution. I'm talking 100,000 square meters packed wall-to-wall with sheer AI hype, humanoid robots everywhere, and tech giants just completely flexing their muscles. There were literally a staggering 1,100 AI companies at this single event, all trying to show off what they can do. And, when you see numbers like that, it is so easy to feel completely overwhelmed. Everyone around you is shouting about how advanced their new models are, and honestly, it makes the rest of us feel like we're just being left in the dust. But today, we're going to set the stage for a contrarian perspective that is guaranteed to cure that AI FOMO once and for all.
Enter Kevin Kelly. Now, if you're wondering who Kevin Kelly is, he's the brilliant 73-year-old tech visionary who co-founded Wired magazine decades ago, back when the internet was barely taking its baby steps. He has an incredible track record of accurately predicting the digital tools we rely on today, so he steps onto that crowded Shanghai stage right in the middle of a sea of tech executives and drops this absolute bombshell of a quote: "There are no AI experts." It instantly disarmed all the anxiety in the room. I mean, think about it. If the godfather of tech trends says nobody's an expert and nobody actually has this figured out yet, we can all just take a collective breath.
So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The truth about intelligence. 2. The AI Jagged Frontier. 3. The rule of nines. 4. Real-world models. 5. Emotions and the Exoself. And finally, number 6. Why you are not late.
All right, let's jump straight into section 1. The truth about intelligence.
We need to totally redefine how we think about this. AI is actually an alien intelligence. We always tend to measure everything against a standard human IQ scale, right? But Kelly argues that the space of possible minds is just vast, and human intelligence just occupies this one tiny little edge of it. These AIs are being built for highly specific, completely invisible optimizations, rather than just trying to mimic human thought. In fact, 99% of future AI is going to operate totally invisible in the background, just agent to agent. It's a completely different spectrum of cognition.
Which brings us to section 2, the AI Jagged Frontier and its uneven capabilities.
This concept of the Jagged Frontier is absolutely crucial. It perfectly explains why an AI can write a total masterpiece of an essay, or literally pass a medical exam, but then turn around and completely fail to count the letters in a single word, or just forget a prompt you gave it 5 minutes ago. The capabilities don't form a nice, straight, logical line upward. Instead, they look like a jagged saw blade. The AI is hyper-advanced and incredibly bad at the exact same time. And here's the best part. Because nobody truly has this figured out, and because that frontier is so incredibly jagged, this uncertainty is actually a massive advantage for you. You don't need to try and compete with a supercomputer on brute knowledge. Your job is to find a niche. Find a very specific gap in that jagged frontier, where human intuition and this alien AI cognition can actually partner up and work effectively together.
Okay, moving right along to section 3, the energy reality and the rule of nines.
We really need to consider this massive energy reality. Your human brain, which is still the most powerful supercomputer on the planet, by the way, operates on roughly 25 watts. That's the power of a dim light bulb. Meanwhile, training an AI requires these sprawling data centers that consume megawatts of electricity. We're talking the equivalent of a small city. We have 4 billion years of biological evolution absolutely beating the brightest engineers in the world when it comes to sheer energy efficiency. So the real AI race, it isn't just about code anymore. It is entirely about power.
And energy is just one of the massive hurdles. This brings us to why humanoid robots aren't currently doing our dishes. It's a grueling engineering journey called the March of the Nines, which dictates the rule of reliability. Getting an AI to 90% accuracy is actually relatively easy. You could build a flashy demo in an afternoon. But moving from 99% to 99.9 and then to 99.99%, that is excruciating. Every single decimal of reliability you add requires as much effort, time, and money as all of the previous steps combined. Removing that last tiny fraction of human oversight is a monumental task. Take San Francisco's self-driving cars, for example. They're at 99.9% reliable, but that 0.1% still requires a human sitting in a control room far away, ready to take over at a moment's notice. This march of the nines is exactly why having a fully reliable, safe humanoid robot that can hold a baby or navigate your cluttered living room without incident is realistically still about a decade away.
Let's pivot now to Section 4, Real-World Models and Spatial Intelligence. There is a stark contrast between the large language models, or LLMs, we use today and these upcoming real-world models. Current AI is what we'd call knowledge smart. It's basically read every single piece of text on how to swim, but it's never actually entered the water. We are moving way beyond standard chatbots here. The future lies in spatial intelligence. These new real-world models are trained on billions of hours of video and sensor data, so they actually understand physics, like a robotic hand intuitively knowing the exact amount of pressure needed to hold an egg without crushing it.
And this is where a massive local advantage comes into play. Solving spatial intelligence for a specific, chaotic environment is a huge competitive moat. Just imagine autonomous driving in the heavy, totally unpredictable motorbike traffic of a Southeast Asian city. An AI trained on perfectly neat California streets is going to completely fail there. Building a model that deeply understands the local physical world is a frontier that massive foreign tech giants simply cannot easily copy.
All right, Section 5, Emotions and the Exoself. This is where things get a bit eerie, but super fascinating.
Because the next major breakthrough isn't just about these models getting smarter, it's about feelings, specifically synthetic emotions. Now, AIs don't need to actually possess real internal feelings. They literally just need a camera to read your facial expressions well enough to simulate empathy. Because we humans are biologically wired to bond with things that interact with us, we're going to form very, very real emotional bonds with these artificial beings. It'll be like having an AI companion that knows exactly when you're feeling down just by looking at you. And these emotional bonds lead us directly into the concept of the exoself. Imagine an always-on personal AI agent that acts as a digital extension of you. Over time, it's going to learn your habits so well, it literally knows you better than you know yourself. But here is the truly wild part. We are entering an exoself economy. Your personal agents are going to negotiate with other agents on your behalf, they'll hire other bots to do tasks for you, and they'll actually use crypto stablecoins to pay each other to get things done.
Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 6. You are not late.
To quote Kevin Kelly again, 10 years from now, we'll look back and say, nobody was an expert in AI. That means you were not late. We are barely at the starting line of what he calls a protopian journey, which is just a journey of slow, incremental, daily progress. The track is still wide open. You really don't need to be afraid of the technology. You just need to embrace the messiness and inefficiency of innovation and go find your own place on that jagged frontier. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, incredibly provocative question to chew on. Chom nen ginte exoself, ai mo là người thực sự làm chủ AI của bạn? In the exoself economy, who really owns your AI? As we build this incredible future where your digital twin handles your daily life, negotiating and buying things on your behalf, will that agent truly serve your best interests? Or will its ultimate loyalty lie with the mega corporation that originally programmed it? It's definitely something fascinating to think about. Thanks so much for learning with us today.